Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow Room. Wow. Yes. And we're working our way through Martinu. This is it. This is the end of Martinu, our 13th video. I just am dazzled at the wondrous variety of music that this guy created. You know, people are very suspicious of new claims to composers to be classics, to be part of that, wonderful continuum of great music. And they're particularly suspicious of composers who are extremely prolific, who wrote lots of music, like Mozart did. There's a tendency to say, oh, well, they wrote tons of music. It can't be good because he just churned it out. Just like some schmuck of a critic turns out like 5,000 videos about classical music. They can't be any good. It's too much stuff. It's nothing worthwhile to say. Well, frankly, forget the schmuck who does the videos. If the composer has something to say and it's interesting, then it doesn't matter if they write a lot of music. It's good for them. They wrote a lot of music. It's terrific. We tend to think that shouldn't happen because we're stuck in this era of the romantic single masterpiece. Wagner wrote 7 mature operas, and that's it. I mean, the fact that they're 19,000 hours long, well, or one symphony at a time, and each one has to be a masterpiece, rather than a whole series of works, which may be mini masterpieces, or they may just be really, really enjoyable pieces of music, delightful and heartwarming. I mean, there's just so much more than just the gigantic, gigantisco major masterpiece syndrome that we ought really to be getting over. It's sometimes an excuse for, slow working and not terribly interesting composers to use to write giant pieces of nothing and try and fob them off on us as like major things. Martinu was an incredibly fluent composer, and he wrote stunning music. And that's all we need to know. If you listen to it, if you actually pay attention to it, you'll find that there are things you like a lot and things you like less, things that are major works in his output and things that are smaller, lesser works in his output. Just like the good old composers in the good old Baroque and classical periods. They wrote things they really, really, really cared about, and some things they just about forgot entirely. That's one legitimate way to do it. And now, with that said, we've got, look at this, the Concertino for Piano Trio and String Orchestra, number 2. I mean, God, there was number 2. Inventions for Piano and Orchestra, what a delicious piece. And the Memorial to Lidice, which is incredible. The Inventions, this is the same performance that was on Superfon with Emil Leichner, the Czech Phil, and Václav Neumann. The Concertino is with Joseph Suk, Joseph Hukro, and Jan Panenka, also with the Czech Phil and Neumann. Then we've got the Memorial to Lidice, which is just one of those profoundly deep, sorrowful works. One of the best musical memorial type pieces that anybody ever did. It really is extraordinary, especially the climax when Beethoven's Fifth comes stomping in because, the memorial is to the town that was destroyed by the Nazis after the assassination of a Nazi official in the Czech lands. It's really, anyway. The Slovak Radio Symphony under Otakar Trilik, and the Frescoes of Piero della Francesca with Same. This is somehow compiled by Campion Records in England. Some of it's digital, some of it is AAD. I have no idea if Campion still exists. They did in 1991 when this came out. What have we got here? Little concerted works, which are charming. His harpsichord concerto with Zuzana Ruzhikova, which is a wonderful little piece. 17 minutes, it's not so little, it's charming and delightful. The oboe concerto and the concerto for cello with piano, wind, and percussion accompaniment of 1924. That's a little 13-minute long jeu d'esprit in his neoclassical style. On Superfon, now who's doing this thing? Like all kinds of people. Neumann is there with the Czech Phil, and Peter Skvor with the Czech Phil Chamber Orchestra, and various other soloists. And it's on Superfon, and it's just lovely and worth hearing. Symphonies 4 and 5 with the Prague Symphony Orchestra and Jerzy Bieloklavek doing number 4, and the Ostrava Janáček Philharmonic Orchestra and under Otakar Trilik in number 5. This is on Panton. It's kind of amazing. Bela Hlavek did Martinu symphonies constantly, and he's made 3 recordings at least of number 4. How many conductors can say they've done that on various strange labels? And, well, actually on Chandos, and then on Onyx, and then this one originally when he was younger, because this was done in the 70s, 1979 and 1980. And they're very good performances, as you might expect, but Panton no longer exists, as far as I know. And the Czech Philharmonic opening concert live Jubilee season 1995-96. Mahler's Songs of a Wayfarer, because the Czechs claim Mahler as one of their own since he was born in Kalisz, Bohemia. And I was actually there for the dedication of Mahler's birth house as a museum. Boy, was that a hoot. Got to tell you about that sometime. And Martinu 6 with Bela Hlavek of the Czech Phil and Ivan Kusner, baritone. Lovely performances of those. This was a classic. This is one of the discs we all got to know Martinu from, on Urania. Here it is. Symphony No. 4 with Martin Ternovsky and the Czech Phil, and the Sinfonietta Giacosa with the Prague Symphony under Václav Smetacek and Stanislav Knur, piano. Lovely, lovely disc. Wonderful stuff. Original stereo recordings from 1965. Yeah. This is the what you call it, piano music with Emil Leichner, who's a real Martinuvian. I have him doing all the piano concertos, but that's upstairs, in the upstairs thing. And we've got puppets, 3 volumes of them, 3 books of them, Butterflies and Birds of Paradise, which is just gorgeous and wonderful. 3 Czech dances, Borova, 3 sketches, 8 preludes, Les Ritournelles, dance sketches, Windows on the Garden, the Fantasia and Toccata, his piano sonata from 1954, and the Etudes and Polkas, all 3 books. We've talked about the piano works before, and they are wonderful pieces, just wonderful pieces, short, aphoristic, epigrammatic, and just charming and wonderful to hear. Here's the other Martinu disc with Klaus-Peter Flor that we talked about in the last video. Yes, numbers 1 and 2 were the ones that he also did. He didn't do 3 and 4. There we go. Now we've got that straightened out. And these are really good performances with the Berlin Symphony Orchestra. I just wish he'd done them all. Oh, damn. And what's this thing? Martinu with the Stamitz Quartet. Well, we already talked about those on Panton. Oh, no, these are piano quintets. And the String Quartet number 0. Yes, there is an early string quartet. And here it is, an E-flat major from the year before the one called the French. Well worth hearing. And the quintet is definitely decent. The 2 quintets are lots of fun. Who's the pianist? It's Igor Ardashev. There we go. And this is on Panton, which probably doesn't exist. And then the New World Symphony and Martinu Symphony No. 2. Yay! With the Cincinnati Symphony and Pavel Yarvi, a terrific disc. Maybe we talked about this already. I think I have a couple of these, because one was like an SECD and one was like a regular, not SACD, back when they were issuing both. I don't know. Anyway, it's terrific. Lovely. Well worth hearing. A wonderful way to end our survey of this extraordinary composer. Thank you for joining me, friends. Keep on listening and go get your Martinu. Take care.